Hi, I'm here with Mike Homer, founder of HowToGetASoccerScholarship.com. Now, Mike and his team have created a program for parents just like you trying to get their son or daughter into the college of their choice to play soccer, and even more importantly, help find a scholarship to help defray the costs of, I know, the ever increasing costs of college that many parents stay up at night really worrying about. So, Mike, we were just talking about three of the myths that you often hear from parents. And I know I was actually shocked because those myths sounded like what I assumed.
hmm
The first myth you talked about was that college coaches have significant budgets, which I assumed is what was true.
Mark, that's one of the common myths, and when parents and players think of recruiting budgets, what their point of reference is NCAA football that they see on TV every weekend, or the men's and women's NCAA basketball tournament, March Madness that everybody's so familiar with. And they see those big budget sports on TV, and they just assume that college sports have these endless pits for recruiting. And it's actually those sports do have very very big budgets in order to do the recruiting, to go find the best basketball players and best football players in the country. But soccer, on the other hand, is one of those sports that isn't a big money sport for the school. So the recruiting budgets aren't the same, and they're very much they're much smaller. And what a lot of times what these coaches will do was they'll travel and do the recruiting on their own dime. So in the summer months when they're when the kids are off from school, they're often doing some of their recruiting then, and they're traveling on their own dime. And what they're doing is they're going to events where they think that they're going to find the biggest number of players that have the potential of playing in college. So where's the highest concentration, to try to maximize that budget. And the better they're able to maximize their budget, the more money they can keep in their program themselves. So yeah, and that really brings me to another point. And this one of the second one we kind of talked about earlier was that parents and players alike think that if they're good enough, that they're going to get found by these college coaches. But to my point, that they're already on a limited budget, so they aren't just found, right? So there are a couple things that players can do. Is they can play in the right circles. They have to be traveling in the right circles or playing in the right circles in order to be found. But that circle isn't very big, and it's not the easiest circle to break into. Another thing that the parents really can do for themselves and players can do for themselves is to master the marketing piece of their product. And their product is their student athlete who has their talents and their GPAs that they can bring to the school, and they have that to offer those particular institutions. And they've got to figure out, and what we've done at HowToGetASoccerScholarship.com is we've built some templates to help that process along. And one of the templates we've built is actually a letter, or a template for a letter to help break the ice with the communication with the coaches, and to help with the introduction process of getting some of that communication started.
Now, one of the other myths you were telling me was one that I was really shocked because I just assumed it was a fact, that Division III schools don't have college scholarships to give.
You're talking about the athletic scholarships, and that's right. They, by NCAA rules, Division III schools cannot offer athletic scholarships. But if some of the players that I've coached have said, well, we don't want to go to a Division III school because of they don't have any athletic scholarships to offer. But you know as well as I do that there are some great institutions in this country that are small private Division III schools, and the reality of it is when a coach is interested in those players, and there's been a lot of players interested, or coaches interested in the players that I've coached. When that happens, those coaches have access to funds that aren't widely known, or aren't readily available for other students via other methods. So these coaches have access to grants, and these coaches have access to or I should say, knowledge of grants and knowledge of um, some financial aid packages and knowledge of academic scholarships that may not be that may not be readily available or may not be really well known by other students.
So not athletic, but they understand where some other nooks and
Right.
crannies some money is available.
But the best example I have of that is I had a set of twins that I was coaching, and they were being recruited by this school, and one of them happened to be a goalkeeper, and the other one was actually a striker. And this school was very, very interested in both players. And the family was in a situation where they really could, because they're going to have twins, and like any family with twins is going to try to send two kids to college. Any type of financial help would have been
Right.
huge there. Well, so now you're talking two players. Well, the coach was very, very interested and said, look, what's it going to take to get you guys to commit to my school? And they kind of worked back and forth on a number and settled on a number. But once that number was settled on, it was interesting to watch those funds become available. And it was not, it was just, it was a Division III school. They weren't athletic scholarships, but they were grants, and they were financial aid packages that were available for these students to go there and play.
So it's not just Division I and II. Don't discount the Division III schools.
Absolutely, and there's a whole other process. There's a whole other set of rules for NAIA schools, and there's a bunch of schools out there that are NAIA, and those players and parents really should be looking down that path too, because they do have athletic scholarships to offer.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I mean, I've just got a glimpse into your program, and it's very exciting to see how you can walk someone through all these steps, step by step, to get the scholarships, and all the successes you've had in the past. I mean, the examples of people you've gotten to play at the college of their choice, let alone earning that athletic scholarship. If anybody wants more information, where could they go?
They can go and visit our website, howtogetasoccerscholarship.com. That's howtogetasoccerscholarship.com. And we've got a program out there that you should check out. And it's got a lot of information and a lot of really helpful tips to help start that process and put your student athlete in a position that's going to best optimize his or her options when it comes to making that decision about hopefully which scholarship they want. That's the best case scenario, right?
Excellent. Well, thank you for your time, Mike.
Thank you, Mark.